Good morning, and welcome to the Morning Report. My name is Willie Lawson. I am the CEO, host, and chief bottle washer for here at fightbackmedia.com. I'm trusting that you are well this glorious morning. Uh, yeah, I've got this on because I am headed over right after we're doing this to speak with our friend and do a video with our friend Nehemiah Jefferson, Pastor Nehemiah Jefferson, on just on what's going on. He's got a tremendous viewpoint on the things that are happening in the world, and he's got not only a legal but financial, based on taxes, and a biblical viewpoint of what's going on in the world that I think that you guys are going to really enjoy. So we're gonna leave here in just a few minutes and head over there and talk with him, and hopefully have that video up today. If not today, Tuesday, then on Wednesday for sure. I know you're going to dig it. Um, I'm going to try to make it so it can be on YouTube as well. I want to thank we've been stuck on 449 subscribers on this YouTube channel for a while, and I want to thank the people who got us over the hump, that got us over 450. Now we're looking at, we're always looking for more. So now even on YouTube, we're looking for 500 at least. That's our next thing. So we've got like 49 more to go to get to 500. And the more subscribers, the easier it is to navigate the YouTube algorithm. And the more subscribers, the more that it really wants to get out what we're doing and add to it if it can. Not that we're benefiting from those ads, but that's okay. I am of the mind, I got this gut feeling that that monetization of some sort is on a return trip to fightbackmedia.com. So I'm okay with just getting some videos out there on YouTube as well as Rumble. I told y'all I'm not a fan of BitChute. If someone out there can explain to me why BitChute is better than either YouTube, well, obviously from YouTube, but or Rumble, please send us an email at fightbackmedia at gmail.com. Please do, because I have not had any success that I'm happy with, or any experience that I'm happy with BitChute. I know my friend Paul uses it. I can't find much use for it. Maybe you can. And if you work for BitChute, then maybe you guys can contact me and tell me what I'm doing wrong. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Tell me why I hate it. Why do I hate it, and why shouldn't I hate it? All right, well, let's get started. Nope, we're gonna take a little break, and we'll be back with more of the program right after these messages. All right, again, welcome back. We appreciate you being here. Hey, listen, how do you guys like who are watching the video? How do you like the entrance? If you go to the fightbackmedia.com website, you can hear the audio version of the morning report and see the video. How do you like the intro? All that consternation and fire that you see was all right here in Tampa. Most of it not far from where I'm sitting right now, during the 2020 riots, summer of discontent, where BLM and BLM operatives were allowed to go through major cities and wreak havoc with no investigation, no select committee on BLM, no select committee on violence in most of our major cities in America. None, zero. You just have to wonder aloud, don't you? All right, let's get started. Let's get started with what's going on. You guys know that here in Florida, the Senate race, there's a Senate race between Val Demmings, and who is a representatives in the House of Representatives from Florida, and she is vying for Marco Rubio's seat in the Senate because they don't have anybody else. Val Demmings used to be a police officer, and she used to be a police chief, as I remember. But she is now a Democrat representative in the House of Representatives. And this is going to be interesting. And I think it may be interesting, maybe not. But let's go ahead and let you decide. The U.S. Senate race in Florida took an apparent violent turn last week, according to a newly surfaced video that appears to show contracted security for Democrat Val Demmings shoving a man to the ground outside of a campaign event for Demmings in Brevard County. Now, the sheriff is investigating the incident. Now, why is this important? Because Val Demmings was one of the Democrats who was on the bandwagon of defund the police, defund the police. Now, our commercials say that defunding the police. Now she says defunding the police is a bad idea. She says it's stupid. It's not what she said before. She didn't come against some of the other people in her party who were calling for the dissolution of police departments. Okay, so according to reporting from Florida Politics, the video shows two people pushing the man at an August 6th event in Mims, Florida, at a public park. Based on the dialogue captured on the video, the individual appeared to be a video tracker who regularly follows the campaign. One clip shows two security guards, one of them who shouts, "Don't do it," before the man is pushed down to the ground on the street. Another security staffer then says, "You can't get up, stay down." What? What are you doing? Said the man pushed to the ground. Clearly surprised, he uses an expletive as, again, he questions why the guards are taking such actions. So being a campaign tracker is a notoriously thankless and brutal job, but it's one important to catching what candidates say when they're not in front of a broadcast camera or caught off guard by a crowd's members' questions. They often expose pointless pandering or a candidate's lack of knowledge on a given subject, or they are the basis for a mini campaign ad from opponents based on a soundbite or an awkward reaction. It's kind of how the game is played. It's not always fair. It just isn't, but it's just how the game is played now, unfortunately. So when reached for a comment by Florida Politics, Demmings' campaign backed up the security guards' action, saying security officials take potential threats and threatening behavior towards the chief seriously. Christian Slater of the Demmings campaign communication director characterized the situation as the individual that did not respond to multiple requests to leave and charged the security personnel in pursuit of Chief Demmings' approaching vehicle. Right. In another video obtained by Florida Politics, appears to capture the man who was tackled to the ground conversing with security guards reportedly employed by Ardent Security and contracted by the Demmings campaign, saying this. Here's what the Ardent Security said. In corrections, I used to balance people like you off their head in the jail. The man who was pushed to the ground said, except for I don't do bad things. I'm not one of those people. I'm just doing my job. That's it. I've been good to you guys. Security person says, don't touch me. Oh my God. Man says, I've been good and y'all just being ridiculous sometimes. I just want to be on an even keel. Security person says, let's be even keel right now. So don't take it personal, all right? The dude that got pushed to the ground said, no, I'm not. Everything that just happened, we're good. Security said, moving forward, don't take it personal. I said, take what personal? What's going to happen? And the security guard said, what's going to happen to you? Sounds like a threat. According to the report, the apparent tracker shoved to the ground was treated at the hospital for relatively minor scrapes and bruises. The irony is, Demmings, who called Minneapolis police radicals' plan to abolish the police department very thoughtful, would employ apparently very proactive private security for her events in public places, is peak Democrat hypocrisy. All these people who are calling for dissolution of police have private security, who have guns, because Demmings wants to feel safe when she pops up in a Florida campaign event. Yet she was fined for Minneapolis to get rid of his police officers as a former police chief, no less. It apparently doesn't strike Demmings ironic that she supports defunding police departments, but still enjoys having private security toss campaign trackers to the asphalt. This is what happens when Democrats lurch so far left that logic and reality get tossed out of the window, like Demmings was from then candidate Joe Biden's Veep stakes. Frankly, I think they messed up. I think they should have picked Val Demmings. Val Demmings, I think, was a much stronger candidate than Kamala Harris. Much stronger. They would have still had an advantage in the House of Representatives. They would have been 2 up in the Senate at that point. Well, no, they wouldn't have been. Well, yeah, because Kamala Harris would have still been in the Senate, and they would have still had her as VP. They'd have been 2 up instead of 1 up. It just makes sense. But nothing these people have done has made a lick of sense, frankly, in my less than humble opinion. Speaking of things that don't make sense, please make them make sense. I'm hoping that this story does not get a YouTube strike. I am just relating a story. Just relating a story. Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla has tested positive for COVID-19. Pfizer CEO announced, I know you're like, what? How is that possible? Pfizer CEO announced on August 15th, that was yesterday, that he has tested positive for COVID-19. Here's what he said. I would like to let you know that I have tested positive for COVID-19. Albert Bourla, who is also the company's chairman, wrote on Twitter, he reported experiencing mild symptoms, although he didn't identify any of them. He said he's feeling well. Bourla, who is 60, said he has received 4 doses of his company's COVID-19 vaccine, which is proving increasingly ineffective against infections from the virus that causes COVID-19. We have come so far in our efforts to battle this disease that I am confident I will have a speedy recovery. I am incredibly grateful for the tireless efforts of my Pfizer colleagues who work to make vaccines and treatments available for me and people around the world, he said. He is isolating and has been taking a course of Paxlovid, Pfizer's COVID-19 antiviral pill. U.S. drug regulators granted emergency use authorization for Paxlovid in December of 2021 for people who are age 12 and older who test positive for COVID-19 and are deemed high risk for progression to a severe case. And people who are older like us are in that group. Regulators have since curbed and revoked similar clearances for many other drugs, such as Regeneron's monoclonal antibodies, citing data that indicates treatments aren't as effective or aren't effective at all against newer virus variants. Paxlovid has become the most distributed COVID-19 treatment in the nation. It was administered to the President Joe Biden after he recently tested positive for COVID-19. Biden, who has also received 4 doses of the Pfizer vaccine, experienced a rebound of symptoms after testing negative, which is common for Paxlovid recipients. Okay, this is the part that probably gets me to strike. Isn't it interesting that now Pfizer is the only antiviral that's out there for COVID-19? That the other ones, like Regeneron, the one that we use in Florida, that seem to do okay. I knew some people who took it. I know some people personally who took it, and they said it was the greatest thing that had ever happened to them. I don't know. I didn't take it, but isn't it interesting that now Pfizer's is the only one that's out there, or one of the main ones that is out there? They're the largest out there. Don't you find that interesting? Burla is among officials who previously promoted the COVID-19 vaccines as being 100% effective against infection. Even Dr. Burke said they probably oversold it. In April 2021, he shared the results from a study that said was said to show that Pfizer's vaccine was 100% effective in preventing COVID-19 cases in South Africa. However, all COVID-19 vaccines have been shown to be less effective against both infections and severe illness as newer virus variants have emerged. Against the Omicron coronavirus variant, which became dominant in the United States and many other countries in late 2020, the vaccines proved little shielding against infections and decreased protection against severe disease. Excuse me. Emerging data indicates that Omicron subvariants are even better at evading vaccine-based protection. Pfizer and Moderna are amongst the companies working on an Omicron-specific booster doses. They could be rolled out in the United States as soon as next month. We hope that Mr. Burla gets better very, very soon. Very, very soon. And that if you have symptoms that they are of the mildest variety. All right. We are going to take a short break. We'll be back with more of the program right after these messages. All righty, welcome back. We appreciate those of you who are enjoying the commercials. For those of you on the video, you lucked out, at least for now. Maybe not next week, maybe not next month, but for now, you lucked out. All righty, let's go ahead and keep it moving here on the morning report. We were going to see this eventually, but it's starting to happen. Even the Washington Post is really is admitting that Liz Cheney is likely to lose her primary and get booted out of the U.S. House. Monday brings us to the eve of Liz Cheney, Republican from Wyoming primary, where she is expected to lose to Harriet Hagman, her challenger, backed by who else? Former President Donald Trump. Even the Washington Post expects her to lose, but we can't get too excited when it comes to Paul Kane's Monday headline for the outlet, considering that he wrote that Liz Cheney's political life is likely ending and just beginning. When the bulk of the pieces about Cheney's plans beyond the House, Kane does reference how Democrats are indeed switching their party registrations so they can vote for the incumbent. This is Operation Chaos. Remember Rush Limbaugh, Operation Chaos, people switching in these kind of primaries? As Wyoming is an open partisan state with partisan registration, voters who are already affiliated with a political party, Republican or Democrat or minor party, can only vote in that party's primary according to open primaries. It still takes up a significant chunk in Kane's piece, though in the final few paragraphs, even he admits that the numbers just aren't there. If Cheney loses the usual Wyoming Republicans by a 2-to-1 margin, as opposed to just, she would need something along the lines of 40,000 Democrats and independents to cross over, and an insanely high figure in a state where just 115,000 voted in last month's midterm GOP primary. It would be tough. In the last midterm, only 150,000 people voted in that primary. It'd be really hard for her to win that. She needs 40,000 people to come to her aid. In other words, Cheney is, by all accounts, likely to lose her primary tomorrow night, or tonight, rather. But that doesn't mean that she's going away. Democrats and their allies in the mainstream media, who suddenly just adore the Republican congresswomen, as do rhinos and never Trumpers, anticipate that she'll run for president, something she hasn't ruled out when asked. So Liz Cheney, okay, whatever. When? Not 2024. While Cheney has said the decision will come later, it seems that she's already thinking about it. She may, in fact, be using her current campaign as a launching pad to running for even higher office, as Kane begins his piece by suggesting. Even if Cheney were not to win the presidential nomination, though, that she still doesn't mean she'll go away. Far from it. For Kane later writes this, but Cheney is clear-eyed when it comes to her chances of actually winning the presidential nominee in a party that is so loyal to former President Donald Trump, according to her friends and advisors. She sees her future role similar to how she views her work on the January 6th committee, blocking any path for Trump back in the Oval Office. Well, if this is her plan, she's going to get run over in 2024. She's going to get run over as if by a steamroller. Are you kidding me? It's about the danger he poses to the country and that he can't be anywhere close to power again, she told a crowd of supporters in Cheyenne just before the committee hearings launched in early June. Traditional conservatives opposed to Trump have already discussed the policy of Cheney running for the White House. That chatter was very strong even before the Dick Cheney commercial. Dimitri Melhorn said, referring to the campaign ad that ran a national on Fox News and featured the former vice president denouncing Trump. Melhorn, let me stop. Here's what the deal is. The deal is this. That wing of the Republican Party is dead. That wing of the Republican Party is dead. The Cheney Bush, the Bush wing of the Republican Party is dead. It's dead. George Bush, George W. Bush, Jeb Bush, the Bush wing of the Bush Cheney wing of the Republican Party is dead. The Trump wing is the ascendant wing of the party at this point. And the more they try to push it down, the more it grows. And some of you want to know why, and I'll tell you why. Because the people I just mentioned, Bush, Cheney, all these other folks, a lot of the rank and file Republicans just don't trust them. They don't trust them. They know that the Bushes are progressives. They understand that it isn't just about R&D. They understand it's not about what jersey you have on, that you're wearing the red or the blue jersey. They know it's about conservative and progressive. They know that. And they look at the Bushes as being progressive. They look at the Bushes and the people who are with them as being progressives, and they don't want progressives as Republicans. They don't want to be, progressive Republicans. They don't want that. Trump presents something else entirely. He presents something that's closer to what the base of voters want. They want a more populist, a more conservative, less progressive person at the top of their ticket. And how do I say this? It's easy, folks. Look at the number of Trump-backed candidates that have won their election in the primaries, in this midterm election. Look how many. A lot. Why? Is because it's what the rank and file members of the Republican Party want. Now, some of the elite, some of the people who are in control of the Republican Party are kind of freaking out because that's not who they are. And it definitely upturns the apple cart and sucks away from their power and control. But this is what's happening. So if you are in the Republican Party and you really believe that you're still part of the Bush wing of the Republican Party, understand that you are not ascendant. You're not. Now, that may bother you. That may make you angry. That may make you sad. But it happens in every large group that there's a ruling class and a subservient class. And right now, the Bush-Cheney era is the subservient class. Just like the Reagan wing was subservient for a minute before it became ascendant. How it is. So Liz Cheney, I guess I get it. I don't really. I'm lying. I don't get it at all. You can't stop. You can't stop it. You're not going to be a big enough roadblock to stop Trump. All your actions that have led up to this moment have made you a pariah to the ascendant wing of the Republican Party, which you are not in. That's how it is. All right, we got to get out of here. Make room for somebody else. Head over to Pastor Jefferson's office. Get him on the air. Get him on camera. You're going to dig it. You are going to dig it. I hope this video stays up on YouTube, even with our COVID, our story about the Pfizer CEO contracting COVID-19. Hopefully this stays up. In any case, until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourself. We will see you when we see you. Bye-bye now.